다 디리지가 하면 좋은다. 란주 아니 착바다 착바 매베토니 아니 롱저와 착바 매베토니 아니 아주 자와지지 지주여가 딕배나 간제를 붙이 두슬라나 아니 란주기 최 간제지 롱주저이나요 텔러 다도 좀 더길 채지 좋아 더길 맞지 토네 아니 최대야 롱제도야 딜이야 다도 만심이 토네 아니 롱제도야지 제국레스 가르쳐서는 더길 채잖아 아니 디기 기준이가 될라 아니 딜이야 가주비 롱주가 가봐야 아니 즉 이도 원주 통나 이도 원자를 하고는 보통도야 이도 원자를 하고도 보다야 될 때니 아니 말하는 즉 주미 유주 도다사기 시리라고 인자 될 때니 차선이 뭐 당신이 제거하지 저장가당 말하는 줄이 다도 좀 등진이야 니보다로 세워되기 생나고라 아니 아주 최근에지도 아니 롱주가 있는데 가도 유 컨디지리아 짐베이네 다도 뭔지비 토네 최고로 있어야 돼 아니 텔론 로마다 토네 최고요스 뭐 이니즈도 되게 토네 세지
So we need to train so that whatever activities we engage in, that we do it without attachment. And so whatever we make use of, to do it without the thought of mine, it's mine. Because we need to do it without a grasping at the self. Because right after grasping at the self, as soon as we have grasped at the self, ourself, then whatever we engage in, whatever object we're engaging with, we exaggerate the good qualities of it or something. We exaggerate it with the attachment. We see more good in it than is there, and through that, through this exaggeration of the good qualities of the thing, then there's this improper mental attention, which then gives rise to attachment and so forth, the afflictions. And so for this reason we need to antidote the grasping at the self. And so whatever we engage in, we need to do it without this sense of self, without this grasping at this sense of self. And we see the reason or the need for applying the antidote to this grasping at the self, so that we can engage in things without this grasping at the self, and so that we can be in line with reality.
To give you a kind of example, when you watch a movie, so then there are so many dramas in the movie. So whenever you watch it, at the time when you watch it, there will be so many emotions, ups and downs. But when the movie finishes, then what will you say? It's a very good movie. But you don't cling to the actions, and you don't bring this kind of these behaviors of the protagonist or antagonist very strongly, if you know how to watch a movie. So there will be one type of person when sees a movie, and then it has strong attachment towards it. They cannot say it's kind of a mixed feeling. Even you see the protagonist, he was doing the actions and everything because it's his job. But when you are so cling to the protagonist, then you see this actor and you have so much grasping to him. Oh, he's my hero. He was hero in the movie. But outside he's not that hero. For you are mixed, but you cling to that. Because you haven't seen the absence of the true reality. Then there's a problem. So the one, maybe most of you have maybe watched Game of Thrones. So in the Game of Thrones there is an antagonist, this queen, Cersei. So when she did the bad role, and the most of the Game of Thrones fans hate her. So when the actress was playing in real life, and then next to her, the person was giving a hot stare to her. And then that lady couldn't hold, and she cursed and said, "You are that, right?" And she was shocked by her that. And she said like, "Wow, that's very strong." So now through this picture, it's not about the story, this is real life like us. And you have an enemy. Everybody has an enemy. But we hold to the situation so fixed, somewhere. Whatever he has said bad things, it's finished. But you hold to this situation as this, you will recognize through his action only. And that action is so truly existence, and he is truly existence, and you are truly existence, and all this solid, you found this solid to label. I'm the victim, he is the victim, and he is my enemy, this action, this behavior, you hold strongly, then you will always have an enemy. But like Buddha, who does not have this kind of grasping, who has seen the true nature of the self, he will say that I have an enemy, but he don't cling to this enemy. So if Buddha approaches to his enemy, I think he's more calm than all of us. He has a broader mind to sit down with the enemy and talk. Because he's not under the sway of the negative emotions anymore. So this kind of power. This kind of power, we need it. So that's if you sit with your enemy, but you can say he harmed you. In the past he did that. But then you don't hold truly existence, not. Then we can say, at that time he was under the sway of negative emotion, he harmed me. So we can easily say this. Otherwise, if you hold the action and the person and yourself truly existence, then how much you say, relatively he harmed me, oh yeah, at that time you're under the sway of negative emotion, how much you say, because you hold to the situation like it inherently existence very strongly. Similarly, even you are out of the movie, but you're influenced by the movie, you still cling to this actor and actress very strongly. This is something that it becomes our root of our sufferings. Otherwise, there's a very great master of ours, which is called Angulimala. That's one of my favorite characters. Yeah. So Angulimala, maybe many of you from the Indians they know, because it's a very famous tale. Angulimala is a bandit who used to kill many people to his ritual to gain some kind of realization. So the time comes when the Buddha, to tame him, the Buddha went to give him the teaching. And then he tried to kill Buddha, but Buddha gives excellent choices and teachings to him. And then he sat down and listened to Buddha's teaching. And then he ordained He ordained. And then after practicing such a long time, then one day he said, now I'm ready to go out from your ashram to go for begging alms. And then Buddha gave a permission. Before Buddha didn't give a permission because he has lots of enemy out there. So then Angulimala went to the family. He kind of destroyed in his past. He killed so many of their family. The villagers came to know he's in this area begging alms. So then they rushed and then beat him to death. So he was in his kind of a last stage of his life, and he's using all his power and calling towards Buddha. Then Buddha approached to him, and then on when the teacher and the student met, and then with the tears he reported to Buddha, and then Buddha hold his head and then asked him one question: are you suffering? So answer from the Angulimala, and he, with folded hand, he said, due to your kindness, I have no more suffering. So then Angulimala, after a few minutes, Angulimala took his last breath peacefully, and Buddha gave the teaching of the Angulimala Sutra, and he said, now Angulimala, in his last word, he said, there's no more suffering. It is a pure sign he has attained the full liberation. So, when I was very young, I used to read this comic a lot, and I always see the cartoon. In there, I can see these the wounds, and then quite Angulimala, I can see quite suffering. I can picture that. And then, what does that mean? He's not suffering. So one day my teacher asked me a question, which is now my favorite, this tale, the tales of the Buddha. So then my teacher asked, like, you know this when he was beaten and then there's so much pain, I guess. And then he said, no more suffering. What does that mean? It's lie that he's really suffering. So my teacher asked me this question. I couldn't answer directly. Then I asked, like, what is your thought on this? My teacher said, even his body feels the pain. The brain can signal pain. But his mind is more powerful, and his mind is giving the signal to him he's not
not like associating it's my pain, not associating with the pain as being my pain, my suffering.
Yeah. So it's like if you have a bad tooth and you need to go to you have a dentist appointment. If you wanted to, now they will give injection and you pull it out. But you will gladly do it. But when they are pulling it, then you feel like you will not hold all this doctor, why he's doing that. You don't feel that. But you don't cling to this very strongly. You will gladly do it. But a young child who hates dentist, then he will think like they will punish me. It's not about his teeth, it's like more he's thinking like they will torture me. So going from his home to the dentist will be full of pain. But for adults like us, it will be like, I'm happy that I got an appointment today. Two different things are there. So this is how your mind controls and clings to the situation. So then my teacher said, this is the reason why his body is full of pain, but his mind is not holding to this kind of heavy pain and making a huge sin out from there. So that's why he's saying, due to your kindness, that's to Buddha. And he's practicing that, how to reduce his self-grasping. And he does not cling to the situation too much. So that is a very important lesson. So not just like Angulimala, but for all of us, in day-to-day life, we have to enjoy our life without too much clinging. And that should be our exercise. That should be that kind of awareness has to become within us. So then, I always used to tell my friends, there's very huge mantra will come out. Any kind of situation you will counter, you will proudly say, so what? You will not, your journey does not end, or you don't feel this kind of blockage in your life. It happened, so what? I'm in full of pains, so what? So you can really, it's not dead end anymore for you. You are not hopeless anymore. There's full of hopes. So otherwise, you feel hopeless. You surrender, and then there's another mantra, samsara mantra. We say, why this has to happen to me? So this is something. It's related to this morning when I said, how could we enjoy our life without attachment? So this I am trying to answer you. Okay? So now we have 30 minutes. So now we go through the text. 다 데리하고 싶다도. 인증을 성공하면 무슨 기부 침부 TV 기부 등기 삼바장 거です. 대중성 기부 침부 TV에서 기부 침부를 치고를 기부 등기 삼바장 거です. 디데로 함이 고공 토전 누치기 두니에 만데베 텔라 랑신기 대버서 뭐 친지도 임베스 랑신기 대와 랑신기 대와서도 대와 랑신기 친이버지도 그런 용어들이 이제 전체비 슈라 아니 친지도 인상 친지도 임베 양 탁보라나 대와 매바 라양 인주 예버를 통해 tangyembi chiru was dibadu jansi losh.
So that's consequently, Consequently, you must train in the attitude of a person of medium capacity. Why? Because even were you to reach the level of a deity or human, you would be mistaken if you believed this to be pleasurable by nature, since you would not have escaped the suffering of conditionality. And so here Rinpoche emphasized this, you would be mistaken if you believed this to be pleasurable by nature. So grasping it or holding it to have its own nature or its inherent existence, that is a mistaken or a wrong consciousness, holding it in the wrong way. So you would be mistaken if you believed this to be pleasurable by nature, since you would still not have escaped the suffering of conditionality. Therefore, in reality, you would have no happiness whatsoever. Your life would still come to a bad end, for you would surely fall into a miserable realm again.
Mm-hmm. Now this example is very beautiful. Pena temata yangsel humo ga yangkanna ngerso shabbos.
So it's a beautiful example here, where it says a human or divine lifetime is like resting on a precipice just before falling into the abyss.
So we normally feel if you are the condition, everything is going quite smoothly in your life, what you will feel like, I have no suffering, I'm doing okay. And you might feel like I'm doing great. But then, in this, if you relate to this example, the lifetime, the divine lifetime, you don't need to go to the God's divine. So you can say in human, the divine lifetime, you feel like it's like a resting just before falling into the abyss, abyss. Very good example. This one maybe you cannot accept it just like that. More beautiful is there's another example. This is one of my teacher's favorite example. It's saying if you are in the 10-story building, and then fire, you can see all around you, the fire is catching towards the building. There's two ways to escape now. One is on the 10th floor, the rooftop, with a nice cafe, swimming pool, dance club, everything. And one is the emergency exit, where before the fire has caught, then you can go to the emergency, which is the ground floor. So you have to make a decision. Two, either you go on the rooftop, enjoy your time, then be ready to suffer again. And one is you go down and then take the emergency exit and then run from the fire forever. So normally, most of us, everybody who is enjoying our life, whether it's a billionaire, millionaire, celebrities, bring all your favorite people on this world. You are like thinking, wow, their life is so good, but deep inside, similar, the fire is catching, and then they are on this level. But now, most important most beautiful part of this picture. What is the most beautiful part? It is actually, this is not a beautiful picture, of course, but the most inspiring thing that I always feel like so beautiful that I can see is the fire is coming before it's caught up onto you. That's how we see precious human life. Don't we waste the precious human life. You can make a conflict. You are in the between to make the judgment here. So you have to do it. You are in this kind of middle way. So now, in here, as in the text it says, you are resting on the precipice,
Edge.
the edge, the precipice, just falling into the abyss. So now, this example, you need to get used to that. So how much you try to enjoy in Tushita, but we all know when you go back to your home, work, everywhere, suffering. How much you say pleasant, so many pleasant things, but there somehow you are going to end up with some kind of sort of suffering, for sure. That you don't need to listen to Buddha, you don't need to listen to anybody, we know it. So that's why we say, I enjoy the most of my time as a child. I don't want to grow up. That's right. So because when you grow up, you need to challenge a lot. And then you have more grasping. That's the problem. People don't say that. The child, their grasping is very limited. They need a video game, and they need a good ice cream. Yeah, very simple life. They don't feel like what will happen to after this. They don't plan too much. They're very not much responsibility, not much clinging, and this is why they enjoy their life. But for us adults, we need to think so much, and then so much of grasping, so much expectations. So we build up so much on us, the burden. I'm not saying the planning is bad, responsibility is bad, but I'm saying on the top of that we have so much clinging. The true existence has to happen, this, that. So this is why even if you don't think about next life, even this life, you are resting on at the Tushita just before falling into the abyss. You can say that too, right? So the power, once you feel like now I'm resting here, means like I have to use my resting time very carefully. So great Shantideva, in his text, Way of Bodhisattva's Life, he gives a very nice definition of what is resting time. In the seventh chapter, meditation, he said, take a good rest, then you can go back, enjoy your time in the meditation. Take a good rest, that helps you to go to the, it gives me too enthusiastic to go to the meditation. Normally what we take a break is like, I enjoy my break time so much, I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to go to the class anymore. So Shantideva says, take a rest, that it automatically feel like, I wanted to go back to my meditation. I need to bring my full awareness now. that kind of rest. So this is a very beautiful example. Tani chunju lis, dendro yangda yangmande, dewa mambu cheche ni, shini ni son dunye ni, yuring me se namsu hong. So now, if you look at this, the quotation by engaging in the Bodhisattva's deeds, after repeatedly coming to happy rebirths and experiencing much joy there, you die and fall into the protected sankara. An unbearable suffering of miserable realms. So now, this is how you have to make your decision before the next life approaches. So you need to make a quick decision here. This is very like resting on the perfect timing, how to take rest. So now, repeatedly we have enjoyed a lot, and now you can enjoy this life. So when we die, we fall into somewhere we really don't know. Unless it's very easy to say there's no next life, because you don't want to believe it. Sometimes I feel like I don't care. But if I say I don't care, can we change our reality? If the rebirth exists, then there's a problem. So there's a big, it's your own responsibility to be very clever enough to say there is a continuum to consciousness or not. So even I am recognized as one precious master, even it's very difficult for me to say there is a past and future life. But for you, of course, they will be difficult. But this kind of discussion also happened with His Holiness Dalai Lama and one of the great masters from Mongolia, such a great practitioner called Geshe Wangyal, who passed away. So when His Holiness Dalai Lama asked this question, as now practitioner to practitioner, I ask you a very simple question. Do you believe in future lives? Then his answer was, it's hard to believe. It will be very good if there is no next life. But if there is a next life, of course we need to prepare for it. That was a very honest, simple answer. We do so many things in our life as there is no next life. It is easy. Close your eyes and then jump. What happens, happens. I don't care. Enjoy this life. But then there are scientific findings. Now scientists has come to the kind of a next level, which it's a very complicated subject for them on the scientific research. After the brain stops functioning, still there are some kind of they can see in the machine that they find some strange signals coming from their machine, which they say maybe the machine is wrong, or maybe there is something going on. As a scientist, they don't make any conclusion. They need do many researchers. So so far they are so into this business now. Recently, a few Russian scientists, they are also searching for that answer. In the previous of their, they did some research on some masters who passed away in the state, in the meditation stage. So they found amazing things. So they still wanted to carry out some studies. So it happens with one person, and why not us? So we cannot say, oh, he's special. What's the whole human, the brain and functionality, everything, we have same equality. So if this is happening to me, this should happen to others too. If the right causes and condition meets, it's seen. So we need to be careful when we on the level of practice, we need to be super careful. So if this does not go without an answer, then you have to answer for that. So this is something why this in the middle and the first scope and the middle scope focuses so much on this. So he's saying this could be happening. And then Chandragomi, Chandragomi is that's not. Huh? That is not Chandragomi. That's the Nagarjuna. Huh? Letter to a friend, cheating. Marabe. Long thing. Okay, that's good. Okay. Chandragomi, given Chandragomi. Kanshi ko that we don't need to read the quotation, it's the same. So now di nalwa she zonzo ti chir dendro la yang nyandro dan taw shindu kyor cha gode. This is the Lama Tsongkhapa's pit instruction. Very big instruction. Normally we don't think like that. Now we have to adapt this way of thinking.
Consequently,
consequently, you have to become as thoroughly disenchanted with the happy realms as you were with the miserable realms, or the miserable realms. Now this comes to my 10th floors. Okay? Now it's saying, I am on the 10th floor, I am enjoying my life, the fire is getting caught on the 9th floor already. I have no time to enjoy and get cling to this life anymore. So then this becomes, you have to see dendro lion and nyandro dantawo shindu gyochigo.
So you have to become as thoroughly disenchanted with the happy realms as you were with the miserable realms.
So with this kind of a strong belief, and then you cannot spend your life as full of distractions. Then you will start these distractions. Then you will say, when you put on the Netflix on, you are enjoying, then you will say, oh, I'm wasting my time. And then you will say, oh, I wanted to go to a picnic. Then you say, oh, no time. And then what will you say? I wanted to escape from this kind of society, and I wanted to bring more practice. Then I need to have a special place. I wanted to get out from all this kind kind of society, then what is called to become a monk, nun, all this comes up. So it is not necessarily, even you have this feeling, not necessarily you don't need to be a monk or a nun, but most important is bring the full awareness that try to enjoy without clinging, which is tough. It's more like, maybe it could be a good example, if you are an addicted person and addicted towards the alcohol, and then you teach that person enjoy the alcohol without getting drunk. It's difficult because you ask the wrong person. It's very difficult for him. It's easy to ask. It's very difficult. That's us. We say like all you have strong negative emotions and inside you, and you are sitting next to the object where normally it gives you strong impact on you, and then you are sitting near to that, and then of course what will happen is the right causes and conditions are there to bring negative emotion, so you're done. The problem is here. So that's why in order to you to become strong, you need to step back from whatever at the temporarily giving you lots of suffering. And to control your mind, you need to challenge your negative emotions and then stay away from the object of the negative emotions. And that's what it's called, in a simple language, it's called retreat. It's not retreat, just thinking nothing. Just thinking nothing is taking like there could be one injection that you are having so much suffering, and then you take this shot, and then for a few hours you got like this numbness. You cannot feel this, your past, the future, and not much affecting your life. You feel like, wow, that's so good. And then once this validity of this, the effect of this injection starts going down, and sometimes it's more painful. Because we didn't learn to overcome the suffering. We learned how to run away from the suffering. That Buddha never taught, because he is under the sway of great compassion. He never taught us that. He always taught us how to overcome the suffering. So that's why he's saying, now we've seen all the situation. We need to have a brave eyes to see the suffering. This happens, this happens, this happens. Then what to do is, now we have to challenge to the root of all the suffering, which is called the self-grasping. That we really don't know how to identify what is the nature of that I. Where all the things in this life, whether it's important, for my case, India is very important for me. The rest of other world, I will say, oh, very important, very important. Deep inside, India is very important for me. Because I'm an Indian citizen. If my nation is not doing well, there's more pain for me. If it's something like other countries burning, or we say, oh, so sad. We watch the news, we say, it's because India is more, we have more attachment, clinging. And actually, I'm not really, now if we peel out this attachment, okay? Like an onion, we peel up. Actually, it's not really India that I'm clinging towards. It's my India that I'm clinging towards. Now that my India is not really India, it's I think, where I'm really staying, just surrounded. Okay. I don't care about Bihar, I don't care about this, I care Himachal. Okay? Then in Himachal, not like the Kangra and all this, maybe near to His Holiness area, there's a landslide and there, no problem. And then take this out, now it goes more deeper, huh? Or more deeper, and then it goes like my house. So then my house, then it becomes my body. And my mind, my way of thinking, it becomes more important. This is how now it's connected. See how it connects from the nationwide, and the nation, and then it comes directly to the center of the universe, which is the I. That center of the I, in this middle scope, it asks this great question. So everything, all the attachment, all the feeling, it comes for this only, the center of this I. So what is that nature of this I? This question is asked. If you cannot answer to that, then we hold to some kind of I, which we really don't know the nature. Do you want me to confuse you more? Okay. It's very beautiful how the great Chantakirti, one of the Nalanda master, when he, in the 15th chapter of the Clear Woods, his text, it's the commentary of the Nagarjuna's root of wisdom. And here he says, what is the nature of self? At the beginning of the text, it is shocking to see how he describes. He said, in this worldly world in this world, if I ask one person, is the nature of the hot water hot or not? Then they, without any hesitation, they will say no. Can you answer that? Is the nature of the hot water hot or not? No. Do you agree with that? Is it hot? It's not hot, right? Yeah, we know that. Don't surprise me by saying yes. Why? How much you heat it up, it goes back to its nature, cold. That's very simple. So now, there are the Chandrakirti is saying the world people are so clever on the convention level. They are so brilliant to answer that. But if I ask the question, is the nature of the fire hot? Then they stupidly answer yes. That really amazed me. Because everybody, the scientists, everyone says, what is the nature of the fire? It's the heat, right? You say that. But then Chandrakirti does not agree on that level. So now, here we need to differentiate a little bit. I'm giving you this hint, okay? It is not totally wrong to say the nature of the fire is hot or heat. But the reality, the true nature, now we are saying the nature. Keep this in your mind, the nature of the fire. If you try to look down to all the elements, the fire elements, you can answer without any doubt the heat is not the nature. Like what is the nature of the self, I? We might say, when we try to, because we would always try to find an answer. Because we need to hold to the one fixed to something. Otherwise, you will lose the fire, you will lose the person, you will lose the I. If you're looking at me, mostly you're looking at my physical body. But if I debate that I am not my physical body, you will accept that. And my speech is not me. And then how you could say at the same time the nature of the fire is heat. Heat is whatever. Yeah. And what is the simplest answer for this? Because the heat represents fire. If it represents you have to 100% say that is not that. If my hand is representing me, then definitely my hand is not me. My consciousness is representing me, 100% that my consciousness is not me. So in the Heart Sutra, you can see no ear, no, from the head to toe, my consciousness, everything you can see. Then at the end you say like, the emptiness. What is the nature of all the phenomena? Emptiness. Emptiness is not something that once we realize, then it comes. If it's beginningless, it's already there. Buddha said, even I become fully enlightened or not, if I come and give this teaching or not, the emptiness is emptiness. Beginningless is emptiness. So there's no debate on that. So now, it is very important. So because you all are now, most of you have so much education and now analytical, the enthusiastic in you. So this is something that you need to discuss about it. The beauty, why of this discussion, we always have to keep this in our mind, not because we are not here to search where is I, what is emptiness, because the problem of this, why we are doing this research, this analytical meditation for 10 days. Why? Because we have already kind of accepted that we are under the sway of our negative emotions. And all the suffering is linked with that. And all this negative emotion is always signaled or affected, influenced, affected by the self-grasping. So now, unless you don't see the true nature of that I, we are not liberated. Once we see the true nature of self directly, not just through only analytical finding, but directly realizing that, then you are liberated. So that's why you wanted to get out of suffering, and you have to not blame the negative emotions for that. You always be wise enough to link that towards that. It is always affected by the self-grasping. Then to find this true nature of the I, so-called emptiness, so-called voidness, becomes so personal. It becomes like there's no other option than that. And this is why Buddha himself said that all my teaching, even I raised my hand, why I did that? Because I wanted to deliver this message to you. So if you look at all the sutras by the Buddha, there is none of the sutras, it does not talk about how to reduce self-grasping. And then Buddha said, all the Buddhas come and goes and comes and goes, future Buddhas, present Buddha, past Buddha. Why they become Buddha? To give you this teaching. You can give up on Buddha, Buddha will never give up on you to give this teaching. Because they are under the sway of the great compassion. When we say under the sway of great compassion means they know, the Buddhas know that our suffering, and which is so rooted, deeply rooted, solely to this self-grasping, so Buddha will not go empty-handed, not giving this teaching. And then if some kind of a generosity, like even the Buddha gives a beggar just one rupees. These days 1 rupees doesn't, not much. Like give 100 rupees, 100 rupees. One of the profound practice or the prayer, the connection, the deepest connection that Buddha is willing to make a connection with this beggar. Not like I give him 100 rupees, next time please give me $1 billion. Not that kind of business. It is more like I have satisfied this person temporarily through the 100 rupees. May I can satisfy him in future lives, that I can deliver him how to cease the rebirth into the suffering, so that I can teach him the true nature of the self. That is the greatest prayer. All the Bodhisattvas, Buddhas do this practice. So we need this kind of power. And this is the greatest practice. And there's no better practice than this in the Buddhism. This is the highest. In this, now we are talking about the middle scope. Oh, it's 12. Finish at 12, right? Okay. Now I stop here. Okay. Sa shi bu shi shu shi bu do dang zhi li shi ni ding xiang sang jie xin du mi ge piu zhou gen nam da xin dan jue ba shu